All right. Time to do some shopping. Oh, perfect. Eli Mitchell is available. Eli Mitchell. Well, now I just gotta find the shopkeep and figure out how much this is gonna cost.
Khajiit has waivers, if you have coin.
You're the shopkeep?
Yes, I welcome you, friend. How may I serve you?
Okay. Well, how much is Eli Mitchell gonna cost me?
Yes, Eli Mitchell. I believe he will go for quite a fat stack.
Did, somebody say fat stacks? You see, the champ is ready to do some shopping.
Are you balking me?
What's the matter, Stevon? You're not willing to drop the bag on a bad man like Eli Mitchell?
All right. Now, Eli looks good. He looks great. But I gotta be more responsible with my budget this year. So, I think I'm just gonna have to pass.
If you no pay, you no stay.
Oh, what? How rude. All right. Guess I'm out.
Now, friend, are you looking to pay coin for Eli Mitchell?
Listen, for 49ers running back, I will...
Hold, friend. Khajiit getting call. Khajiit has waivers. If you have coin...
Hey, this is Dangerly Cheesy here, calling about Eli Mitchell.
Yes, Eli Mitchell.
I'm ready to pay the coin.
Khajiit has another offer from... Jordan for Eli Mitchell.
Oh, of course it'd be Jordan. Oh, I really want the Eli Mitchell trade sermon combo. I'm gonna match that offer.
This Steve has matched your offer for Mitchell.
A fat stack. And some pets?
Pets?
Some sensual pets.
Deal. I hope that you will come to do business with Khajiit again. Now, give me your pets, human.
Eli Mitchell, baby.
Son of... Okay. May have won this battle, Jordan. But I'm gonna win the war.
Hey everybody, and welcome to After the Weekend Week 2. I got your boy Boosty back with me. He's going to help me go through the matchups. You guys know the drill. Alright, we're going to dive into each one of these matchups, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. I'm going to go over the MVP for each matchup, while Boosty's going to talk about his big old doo-doo stinker, his dud of the week for each matchup, and we're just going to go through the matchups like that. Boosty, you ready to hop into these bad boys, get started?
You bet.
All right. Well, we are actually going to start off with our lowest scoring matchup of the week, but it was still a close one. Captain Munderpants scoring 83.58 points. Getting the L this week to Fournette-cation, who scored 85.36. And now, like I said, it was the lowest scoring game, but there was one man that stood out above the rest, and that man was Lamar Jackson. He came in Sunday night, they were playing the Chiefs, which everyone's like, oh, Lamar can't beat the Chiefs. He can't beat Patty Mahomes in primetime. And Lamar said, you know what? Not only am I going to beat Patty Mahomes in primetime, I'm going to get my boy Buffalo 30 points. Make sure he gets that margin wide enough on Monday night where Keith has no chance with Hawkinson and the Packers defense to even come back and win the game. So, MVP, Lamar Jackson, 2 rushing tutties, 30 points. Attaboy.
Talking about surprising player performances in this matchup, I just couldn't single it out to one milk dud of the weekend. Instead, I picked 2. Keith, I'm sorry, you only lost by 2 points to Buffalo, and part of that is on the shoulders of Alvin Kamara only getting 5 points and Dak Prescott only getting 7.5 points. It has to be painful. Those are 2 players who should be in the double digits, and they weren't. The second matchup, we got Ahar's O-Delta variant barely squeezing by that big old victory over me, Wolf of Waller Street, 109.5 to 106.9 to another close game. Only a 3-point spread. If I'm looking for someone to blame on my squad, I certainly will be hunting down Mr. Kareem Hunt. 5.8 points against Houston. He goes out with an injury, I know, but it's still disappointing, and it contributed to my loss.
It's always disappointing seeing a guy go down. Just like, please come back in the game. Please come back in the game. And, understandably, they usually don't, but for the fantasy team, you're like, oh. As far as MVP this week, now, I will say there was a pretty obvious decision if I wanted to go that route with Kyler Murray basically putting up the same stats he did week 1 for Ahar. But the 2 men I wanted to point out, I have 2 MVPs this one for Ahar.
Okay.
Is you had a couple running backs playing wide receiver for Alex this week. I mean, you had Najee Harris getting in the teens, getting 5 receptions and a touchdown, and Austin Eckler getting 9 receptions out of the backfield. So I was impressed to see them getting the double digits really help carry Alex and kind of help support Kyler, get him the W this week over you, because there wasn't really much else from this team this week. So Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, co-MVPs for this week. Alrighty, on to our third matchup. It's going to be my matchup with Herbie fully goated with 115.02. Taking the L this week to Fantastic Ford, who scored 122.36. Now, Buster, going into Monday night, I thought I had a 31-point lead, right? All Paul had was Aaron Jones. While Aaron Jones is a stud, don't get me wrong. 30 points, that's a tough margin to come back by just one guy. And you know what Aaron Jones said? He said, you know what, Paul, I know you're down. I know you don't want to take an L and have everyone in the division tied up right now. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get basically 30 points in the first half against these Detroit Lions for you. Just make sure you can just enjoy the rest of your evening and just watch me put up 4 touchdowns and get 38 points and really just secure the W. So MVP, obviously, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I'm going to keep commenting on this Paul train. Jarvis Landry only getting 1.4 points, serving up the dud of this matchup. Also a Cleveland Browns injury, and now out for an undisclosed amount of time. Paul, that had to be painful. Jarvis Landry, up and down, but still a good player. And you still get the W, but it had to be disappointing to get less than 2 points from your boy. Fourth matchup, we got Shelby's Chubb Hub losing to Dalton's Playing for Keepers 114.48 to 128.62. Now, the dud is going to be on Shelby's team, but his name is Dalton. That's Dalton Schultz at 2.8 points, losing to the real Dalton in reality. Man, we know that Dalton Schultz is capable of a lot more than 2.8 points, and Shelby only losing by about 14 points. I feel like that tight end could have stood up. That sort of ebb and flow Dallas offense here early in the season kind of let Shelby down on the day.
Yeah, the tight end definitely could have stood up, but he found himself sitting down on the toilet being the stinker of the week. You know what I mean? Anyway, the dud being Dalton Schultz kind of really sealed the loss for Shelby this week. But, what I want to point out for Dalton's MVP this week was the Bills' defense. I mean, not only did they come into Miami and just shut down the Dolphins, making them serve up a goose egg, scoring 22 points, but also just in attendance, the Bills Mafia came out. I mean, it was basically a Bills home game down there in Miami. It was insane. So I'm sure the Bills defense definitely appreciated that and helped them get 22 points. So MVP this week, Bills defense for you, Dalton. Alrighty, moving on to the fifth matchup. We got Empire destroyed Mahomes with 136.72, beating Brady Yoda with 100.84. Now, the MVP for this one, I think it's pretty obvious. While this man is a beast, it's not very often you have players just go complete beast mode and just take over a game. I mean, he is the reason the Titans even had a chance to come back and win that Seahawks game. But Derrick Henry, over 200 yards total offense. He had 3 touchdowns, 44 fantasy points. That's tough to compete with, even if the rest of Steven's team all scored nothing. When you have a 36-point victory and your main guy had 44 points, it's pretty obvious who the MVP was for you.
Yeah, sometimes the Titans fall too heavy on the shoulders of King Henry, but he does rise to the occasion. The dud for this matchup I'm going to put on Tucker's team. That'd be Tyreek Hill only getting 4.4 points. Are there people in the league who got less than 4 points this week? Absolutely, but Tyreek Hill capable of a lot more, and this contributes to that loss that Tucker had to take to Derrick Henry and the rest of Empire destroyed Mahomes. And the last matchup, McClossum dangerously Chiziki beating Chad's Kittle Me This 130.60 to 118.10, a 12-point spread. Chad, your namesake, George Kittle, I know you cannot be happy with his performance thus far in the season. Neither can Jordan as a Niners fan. Only 3.7 points on the week, definitely contributing to your loss. Hopefully, George Kittle can find his rhythm later on in the season.
Bounce back. The man has been putting up some stellar blocking highlights. I will say that. He's been pancaking dudes left and right, but blocking doesn't get you fantasy points. So definitely want to see him on the receiving end of some of those Jimmy G passes. Now, in terms of MVP of this matchup, McClossum had a 25-point deficit going into Monday night. All he had left was the man, Aaron Rodgers, and also DeAndre Swift, who has looked good so far, especially after his Week 1 performance and how he did so far in Week 2. But he was down 25 points, and it was like, well, usually that's a slam dunk, right, with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. But hey, 1.32 points last week? I don't know. Maybe it makes me a little nervous. Oh, he's like, oh, don't worry about it, McClossum. I got you. 26 points. I'm going to get the 25 points myself. So, Aaron Rodgers, MVP, with all those TD passes against the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Shelby. But Aaron Rodgers, your MVP for this week, bouncing back, McClossum. Alrighty. Well, that does it for all the Week 2 matchups this week. Thank you for joining me and Boosty as we deep dove into those matchups. And we're going to see you all for Week 3. Goodbye, everybody.
Hang on, I was looking down because Graycie.
You're good.
Production value when you have no one to film you at 12 a.m. when your wife's asleep. Brought to you by Calvin and Hobbes.